Friday fan feelings coming up next here on Locked On Sooners. Who's feeling it? Who's not? We'll discuss.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, we've got 3 pretty good Friday fan feelings here, and I want to go in order of the most negative to the most positive. So we'll start with this one because it made me laugh when I read it. This one comes from Freeman Reed 5228 over on YouTube. He says, "Doomed! Doomed, I tell you, we are doomed. Hopefully Nick Saban can rebuild the team next year." I don't know if he really feels that way or if he's trolling, but it just made me laugh.
That's a good troll. I actually appreciate the fact that he said Nick Saban can come rebuild the team next year. That's actually quite hilarious. And it feels like we're all getting into the feelings that we're getting from a lot of the fans. It's all mixed. You're going to get people that are going to be believing one thing, some believe another, some that's going to believe. It's all over the place. I kind of enjoy it now. I kind of like that everybody's now discombobulated.
Yeah, the energy is weird right now because you have a lot of people that are still really, really positive. You have some, like me earlier this week, that was maybe a little bit freaking out about some of the injury notes that we were getting out of fall camp. And you have others that are still positive. And then you have this one that comes from Plains Roamer 405. And he says, "Ask me again when there's 2 minutes left in the Michigan game. I'll know how I feel then." Remember, the question was 1 week into fall camp, how you feeling? Plains Roamer says, "Just let me know when there's 2 minutes left on the clock, week 2.
Yeah, we need football to help and get here. For a lot of these fans, they're not trying to, say or hear anything. No, all they want to know is, give me some football and then talk to me after the second game, not the first game, but the second game when we're playing against an opponent that we feel is formidable. Yeah. And now we know what this team is going to actually be, which, I respect that. I respect the mindset of, I want to come ask me how I'm feeling when we're deep in this Michigan game. And I'm kind of getting closer and closer to that point too. I know the Illinois State game is going to be fun to watch because it's going to be a great way for us to be introduced to a lot of players. But for the most part, Michigan is the one that everybody wants to see. Yeah. We know there's great chance that game day is going to be there. And since that's a very big possibility, I want to see the Sooners show out against what we expect to be a really good defense. And we want our defense to show up against a new formed offense with a new coordinator and a freshman quarterback. We want to go out there and dominate. We do that, 2 minutes left, Plains, we're going to hit you up.
Yeah. Yeah, and if this offensive line goes out and performs against that Michigan defensive front, I think it'll have everybody feeling really good about the rest of the season. Because that's going to be obviously a huge test for Oklahoma. And if that offensive line can hold up, and I'm not saying they got to rush for 250 yards and Mateer's got to pass for 300 yards. I'm just talking about the guy has opportunities to make plays. Jaden Ott has opportunities to make plays. It might be a slugfest. It might be one of those 14-13 games or a 20-17 kind of a game where you're maybe not putting up a bunch of numbers, but if your offensive line is not getting your quarterback killed and it's creating some opportunities for your running backs to get some yards, that's a positive step in the right direction, because that wasn't the case last year.
It really was not. But hey, if you go out there and, let's put it this way, if you go out there and do what Texas did last year to Michigan at home, and Michigan's already ranked, in the coaches poll. I know that for the most part, in a lot of the analysts and a lot of the AP voters, they don't have Michigan very high on theirs. But look, if they're going to end up being ranked, Oklahoma should be ranked, so it should be a ranked game for both of them. Oklahoma goes out there and dominates, good chance that that looks very good for the pollsters, and we'll see how that happens in week 3. And then we get another matchup in week 4 in conference that really tells a lot. It's gonna be a roller coaster. It's gonna be a roller coaster, folks. It's gonna be a roller coaster, and I'm ready for it. I am ready to be hurt again.
I think it's going to be that opening part of Mr. Freeze at Six Flags over Texas, where you're just going straight up. Like, that's the roller coaster Oklahoma's going to be on this year. You're going to go up, 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 and you're going to feel like you're going up forever. We're going to be riding high. All right, this one comes from one of our everydayers, Robert, over on YouTube. He says, they're going to surprise the nation if they can stay healthy. I've been on the practice field twice. They look the part.
Oh, I like hearing that. He's been on the practice field and he feels like they look the part. I'll take it. We saw, who was that? Michael Hawkins Sr., former player of Oklahoma, father of Michael Hawkins Jr. He's gave a raving review recently. So now that you're hearing these, John, how do you feel now that because yesterday was the off day? How do you feel this Friday about the team now?
I mean, I still feel positive about it. I'm like Plains Romer, and I want to see what they do against Michigan before I'm just sold on this thing. But I feel like they've answered all the offseason questions. They've answered all of the issues that they had last year. Now it's just a matter of going and playing football and putting what's on paper on the field and performing. And if they go out and they perform, they're going to have a chance to win a lot of games. And if they, again, it comes back to this. The defense is going to be good. We know that. And if the offense is respectable, Oklahoma is going to be in every single game.
How many games do you think the Sooners will actually lead at the half?
I mean, if they led 9 games last year at the half, dude, I mean, I think it's possible they have as many. I also think it's possible that maybe they aren't leading in 1 or 2 more, but find a way in the second half to come out on top. You know, I don't necessarily expect them to lead at half in every game, but they're going to have a chance, dude. You know, this is an offense that's going to be able to put up some numbers. They're going to be able to put up some points. Again, it comes back to just playing complementary football. The defense kept Oklahoma in a lot of games last year. I mean, they got blown out by South Carolina. They got blown out by Texas. The rest of it, I mean, Oklahoma was in all those games until the second half of LSU. Oklahoma was in that one. So it's hard for me to look at this schedule, which I think is worse than last year, and this team, which I think is better than last year, and think that Oklahoma is going to struggle. That, to me, that's irrational. It's illogical.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And when I look at it, too,
being better.
Yeah, Oklahoma, to me, 10 games. 10 games this year, Oklahoma should be leading at the half. That doesn't mean they're going to win all of those games, but I do believe, and honestly, if they're down at the half, I doesn't mean they're going to lose those games either. Nope. I do believe, though, that they have an opportunity to lead at minimum 10 games at the half. Like you said, the teams we're playing against are not better. They're actually a dial worse. Doesn't mean that they're terrible teams, no, but they're a little bit back in comparison to what they were last season, mainly with quarterback play. A lot of quarterback changes. So for me, my feels, honestly, as I've gone through and we had the day off, I feel a lot better that we're slowly getting past the injury bug early, and we're getting snaps from a lot of the young players to where we'll know where they are once the season hits. Because that's going to be the most important thing. Yep. You need to know where those players sit, and you got to see how they've absorbed the playbook, especially the new playbook, especially the offensive side of the ball. How they're absorbing the playbook, how ready they are to play when their number is called. That way they can go out there and perform, because we don't want a situation like last year where you're throwing a whole bunch of dudes out there and, quite frankly, they weren't as prepared because they probably shouldn't have gone that deep in the depth chart. Now they've got the experience. They've seen the field. They've gone through and they've had their struggles, and now it's about time for them to be ready to, all right, time for me to take over. Time for me to go in there. My number's called. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to do that, especially at wide receiver, a whole lot better than they did last year because there's so much more
100%.
experience than what there was last year. So, again, we're feeling good. I know you're feeling good, most of you at least. Some of you taking a wait-and-see approach. Totally understand that. Get it. I'm kind of in that mode too. Taking a wait-and-see approach, I think is fair. But if you're gonna nail me down on a prediction at some point, and I'm gonna have to give it to you because that's what you're here for, and that's what I'm here for.
You're here for them takes.
That's right. And so we will get that prediction to you at some point before we get to game week 1, which is just a few weeks away. And when that first game week hits, oh man, it's going to be like Christmas. It's going to be like Thanksgiving. It's going to be like that green bean casserole coming out onto the table, piping hot. And we're going to be so ready. And that's going to do it for today's
green bean casserole?
Yes.
He picked green bean. Of all things to select, you picked green bean casserole.
Let me just tell you about my grandma's green bean casserole, my man. Okay. It comes in and this is not Thanksgiving time, so we might have to rehash this, but it comes in a beautiful ceramic dish, piping hot, with the French fried onions on top, and it just hits hard every single time because grandma knows how to make it. I know you got something that grandma makes that is just special.
Some good hot pecan pie. I miss those.
There we go.
All right. Let me talk about
Hope
food.
everybody enjoys their weekend. Go eat something that's yummy and delicious. Reminds you of grandma. That's going to do it for this episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on every podcast platform and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. And again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. For your second listen of the day, go check out the Portal Show with Brian Smith. He's got the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend. Boomer.
Sooner.
Now I want some pecan pie.